Hello and welcome here with the one and only Josh Olsowich. Hey, Josh.
Mr. Brian, you're not incapacitated, so that's good. Is this your first? No, you've probably done like a weekly open, right? Or maybe you didn't.
I did not. This is my first
Wow.
media appearance.
Wow.
Uh,
I'm honored, frankly.
yeah, since I lost a part of me on Sunday night. Appendix is gone, but the rest of me is still here. Brain is fully functioning. Body is partially functioning. Happy to be here with you. You probably know more about my appendix than I know about my appendix, but nevertheless, I can I can talk and I can sit sometimes, and I'm better every day. Laparoscopic, is that the right word? Laparoscopic surgery is pretty amazing. So the recovery time sucks right at the beginning, and then it gets like very, very progressively better every day. So
Yeah, well,
I'm
the
good.
good news is it happens all the time, so like it's not an unusual.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not like a rare surgery, right? It's not like
I,
some like brain laser knife with whatever it's called, chemo, right?
yeah, I was not like fearful for my life or anything. Maybe I should be, but I mostly just wanted them to take it out. Um, and they did. And I'll say one other thing. I had excellent medical care. It was fast. It was high quality. The people were kind. Good job, Alabama medical system.
Well, if they weren't fast, they risk just letting you expire. So
But nevertheless, most people just complain. You only hear about airlines when people like miss their flights. You only hear about healthcare when they're being really mean. So
well, it's like they say in restaurant business, the restaurant business. If you have a great meal, you tell one person. If you have a terrible meal, you tell 10 people. That's just kind of how we are as people. But that's good to hear. I'm glad.
Josh Olsowich, who is now flipping hamburgers because I don't know.
No, I used to wait tables back in the day, and that
Yeah.
was always like that was instilled into me that
Yeah.
make sure the guests are taken care of. Anyway,
Yeah. Negative press is always has greater outreach than positive. So anyway, I am appreciative of all, especially my wife, who has been an excellent caretaker, and I'm kind of back to normal. Kind of. I can do most of the things, but I do have like my
no heavy
arm.
lifting, literally, right?
No, I'm not allowed to lift more than 15 pounds.
Yeah.
And then like my arms are kind of like this protective screen around my body. And when my like kids come close to me, I'm like, no. But anyway, so appendix out, Ethereum up. What else do we want to talk about? Bitcoin broke out. It's the week of some of the things we've been talking about for quite a while happening. The yellow box that I've had in my chart for years is now on the underside, for Ethereum at least. My first major resistance is 2,500. I'm sure we'll talk more about that. Just going over a couple price things real quick, and then we'll dig into them. Bitcoin a few weeks ago blew above the 200 week, consolidated sideways for 3 weeks, and had continuation upward. This one I'm not sure, like the target zone is a little different than Ethereum, but nevertheless, a handful of really good weeks for crypto. And in the meanwhile, the Dixie has been pretty weak again, and the S&P has kind of been here and there. So it's not like up only markets everywhere, and Bitcoin is just one of them. I think Bitcoin's pretty clearly outperforming a lot of stuff in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, that's been a standout for me, hands down. Is we haven't needed like some traditional market crazy bull run. S&P's been strong, I think.
Yeah.
Outside of like reality, like it's not paying attention to maybe what's coming. You could argue maybe it's like forward pricing in something, and that's why it's still pretty bullish. But if we do think a recession of any kind, mild or extreme, is coming, I can't imagine that S&P isn't going to turn down a little bit, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think just trying to look at correlations and stuff right now.
But yeah, Dixie,
Hard.
like you said, to me, DXY, it's just the process may take months, it may take a year, but like it always has from 100, should continue to go down, especially if the Fed is closer to the end of their hiking cycle relative to the rest of the world, especially if countries are dropping the dollar, which they are, but that seems a little bit overblown to me. Like, people are celebrating the death of the dollar a little too early. But based on technicals, that's an inverted cup and handle to me. That's all I need to see on the weekly. So
this is the monthly. Let me go to the weekly. The weekly, yeah, you could point at some chart patterns, cup and handle, maybe even a head and shoulders if you count this as a tiny shoulder.
Sure. Whatever.
I would say if you get that definitive sub 100 break, then I would really be looking 97, 98. But
that's the other thing. It's a massive psychological level too. So
yeah, I still think everything's going faster than my squiggles that I drew, but like that up and down, not making new highs. That's what we were trying to convince people of a while back. It did the up and down. It just did it really quick. But I think we could see consolidation here between 100 and 104 for a really long time, personally. And then you kind of punish both the dollar is dead and the dollar is king people all at the same time. And maybe we see more stabilization in markets. I could believe almost anything on the dollar except for like new highs of strength. I think there's too much resistance for that. I don't really see a pathway for like dollar above 110, 112. But I can see a pathway for like dollar to 90 to 94. What do you think? Like, what are our extremes here?
Yeah, I mean, so if you're bearish based on technicals like I am, you're looking at 105 as like the ceiling. Anything above 105 and that whole like idea of sub 100 goes out the window.
Yeah.
So it took 4 or 5 weeks. Like, I agree, it's happening quicker than I think anybody sort of expected. But
a dollar bull is reloading their longs right now, in my opinion. Like, this is where an aggressive dollar bull is interested to reload.
I guess. I think if you're a dollar bull, you're looking more at the fundamentals than the technicals. But
well, yeah. I mean,
are the fundamentals?
You don't trade the dollar unless you're a macro LARPer. So
sure, but are the fundamentals strong enough? I guess is my question to justify the squiggle. Let's justify the squiggle.
I think the fundamentals are strong enough to justify the squiggle. Personally, why do you think? It depends if the Fed's kind of in control of this, so like we can't get in the mind of the Fed in this.
So but if we're closer to the end in our hiking cycle, which based on anything I do anywhere, everybody is packed. Everybody's still looking to hire people. To me, that says the Fed, just keep going, go another 100 points, right?
Yeah, but maybe go 100 points slowly. I mean, I think stuff will start breaking even if you're going slow. If you go like, let's say 200 basis points higher on interest rates, the yield requirements for people trying to deploy money just become enormous. Prices come down. I look at that. I've said that a lot, but like in my own real estate stuff, or if I'm contemplating a business loan, for example, like what you have to generate off of that is really high. So you inherently create
cost of capital. Yeah,
it's the cost of capital goes higher. You inherently create a lot of strain that's really difficult, especially as you go to rates that, as you tack on top of what the Fed is setting, then you end up with like 8, 10, 12%. Yield requirements at a bare minimum, and because you can get risk free at X, whatever that X number is. If that's risk free, then you have to earn a promise, whatever, much better than that. And if people think that, okay, well, for risk free, let's say risk free is 7. If I can get risk free at 7, that sounds pretty good in the long scheme of things, right? Like risk free, tax free, 7%. Why do anything else?
Yeah.
So sure. that starts breaking things. That's like very severely starts breaking things because you disincentivize investor money to be put at risk. Anyway, so
yeah, I do think we need like a happy medium. Maybe rates at like 3 to 3.5% rather than 0. That way people do have an option to not go all in on risk, and risk markets don't go insane, bubblicious,
Yeah. I mean, this looks good in a vacuum. There's a monthly 30-year yield. 3.75 right now.
Yeah, it looks fine. And then, you have to consider our own debt obligation and our own interest payments on that debt and what sort of trouble we're getting ourselves into there. But
yeah,
we'll just kick the can down the road. It doesn't matter. The next generation will take care of it, right?
Right. Yeah. I just think it's hard for us to predict this. I would love to see all this stuff just compress and not do anything severe for a couple of years and let a lot of stuff play out. We've talked about this a bunch, but a lot of the uncertainty of we don't know what's next because there's no plan. We're like freaking out about what Jay Powell is going to say every week or month or whenever he talks, or who one of his whisperers or whatever. That's painful. If you just say like, okay, well, rip the Band-Aid off and here's what we're going to have to achieve a year from now, that instability is tough. But
yeah, we're filming 3 movies and we don't even know what's in the second one.
Right. Yeah.
Each day we're coming to the set with new instructions.
Yeah.
That's why Star Wars was so terrible, by the way. No plan. I still think this either ascending triangle idea or inverted head and shoulders on S&P, like, I don't think it has a basis in reality, but technicals look great. When you're back above that horizontal again, like, what is there to argue there? Why would you be bearish?
Yeah, I think the S&P could get to 4,300 pretty cleanly. I think 4,300 is resistance that a lot of people might just start talking about all-time highs and stuff. I don't have much of a take here, I guess, but my biggest take is really I'm not a believer in like all doom and gloom, and I'm not really a believer in new all-time highs. Just kind of across the board. I just don't know where those ranges get set,
Well, if I'm Powell and I see that, I'm like, okay, let's keep raising, right? If S&P goes up,
if you just purely look at numbers.
If the S&P is sliding lower, we hold, right? Just go ahead. There's plenty of room. Inflation's still realistically way too high, regardless of what the numbers say,
Yeah.
Wages aren't keeping up, so.
Well, inflation is way too high, other than it might also be a deflationary environment now. We're not sure. Like, I don't know, man. It's like whenever I start getting advertisements for managing inflation, I'm just like, maybe we're not really in a big inflation environment anymore.
The prices still seem crazy high.
No, they are.
Like rent, food, the important stuff that they throw out of the basket of
going down in price is not required for inflation to go away.
Going down in price is not required. Okay, like on a year-over-year basis, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Like a zero increase in prices of the things that you buy would be 0% inflation. Victory, we've won, even though all your crap is the same price as it was when it was really expensive at the end of inflation.
Right. Yeah, then there's oil, which.
So the rate of change can be really deceiving, right? So things could still be getting
super deceiving.
Yeah, things could still be getting really expensive. You still make the same salary or whatever. So let's say some family makes, $100,000 a year as a family, and therefore they have that to deploy. Their stuff is still expensive. They need a raise. You know what I mean? Like they didn't get a raise last year, but their stuff got more expensive. They didn't get a raise this year, but their stuff is still expensive. Mm-hmm. So what do you do? And this is this dynamic playing with inflation.
But then they look at wage growth to see if inflation's getting worse.
Yeah. So
which in effect blames people for asking for more money. And then you get this wage price spiral, right?
Yeah. This is why we need deflation through technology, Josh. So
okay. I don't know how the little guy wins here. Like, it's a lose-lose situation.
obviously by the development of AGIs that take over all our primary tasks, it makes the lives get easier, the jobs, we create deflationary pressures on the economy. Cathie Wood wins, ARK goes to infinity, right?
I guess.
By the way, we're just completely talking out of our butts right now.
We're talking out of our appendix. Oh,
out of our appendix. My appendix is over here somewhere.
Too soon?
No,
yeah, oil's probably going to go higher, right? Supply's getting reduced. It's like the opposite of Ethereum. It's ETH unlocking, oil not unlocking as much.
Yeah, there's
there's
so many political pressures on oil stuff. It's hard for me to predict. I don't think oil is going to go much lower though. Like I look at that kind of 70 realm. And I just wonder what's going to really get it below that.
We'll just keep digging deeper. We'll keep pulling more dinosaur juice out of the ground on our side of the pond. Yeah, I don't know. Oil's kind of a mystery to me, but just based on supply and demand, it probably goes higher.
Is there a trade setup that you particularly like to try to make this conversation useful for people who just want to say, what do I buy and when does it moon?
Well, good thing this isn't financial advice, but
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that's what they want.
Yeah, I mean, crypto looks great. I wouldn't touch legacy stuff personally. That's just me.
Just because you think it's dangerous, or
no, just crypto's moving more. Like, why bother?
Yeah.
Dixie's going to be important, like we already hit on, but I like Bitcoin higher. I like ETH higher. I like ETH 2500. Eventually, I think we're a little bit parabolic blow off here on lower time frames. One thing to note is like the consolidation times that we've had since January. Like it took a couple months, then it took a couple weeks, then it took like a week. And, that's a classic sign of just like
getting tired.
Yeah, momentum just getting ahead of itself here a little bit.
I think there's a bit of a vacuum up to 2,500.
Yeah, I think that's inevitable. It's just a question of like, what's the route they're going to look like,
At any of these prices, you not only need to say, well, that looks like a clear target, but you also have to say, well, what's the bullish target beyond the bullish target? Because you need to get there, you need the people that kind of keep believing all the way along. And that's where I start thinking, okay, what's prices that you start talking about? 3,333, 3,500.
The other thing I'm thinking though with ETH specifically is like, who is buying ETH right now and why are they buying it? I just can't answer this question.
Because it broke out, because Shanghai worked, because you like ETH over everything else in the space. You've got a bunch of, Solana or ADA or whatever else, and ETH just broke out and it's working. It's deflationary. There's a lot of activity on it. Those are all good reasons to buy. I'm fine buying some ETH here, like little bits, not necessarily like the whole thing. But if I had no ETH, I wouldn't mind buying some ETH here.
The rotation trade is real, I think, as we're seeing ETH BTC. The celebration rally we're seeing of like, the protocol actually working is real.
Let me ask you this. 60K BTC or 4K ETH, which seems easier?
ETH for sure, but
so
again, like who is buying this here?
It's a good reason to buy, because they were sidelined.
Is DeFi? Yeah, just hear me out. Just hear me out. Is DeFi robust and active, and are people like borrowing a ton?
I don't need them to borrow a ton, but it is robust and active.
Okay. Are NFTs, Mr. NFT, are NFTs like gangbusters right now, generally?
No, but that's not really a good thing for there's not a direct correlation there. Like trading is important or activity is important, but NFT numbers don't have to go up for it to be good for ETH. Like when ETH calms down, NFTs will go up.
Sure, but I'm just thinking like, why?
Is there a demand for block space is kind of your question.
Sure, yeah, that too. Like, are people using ETH to use ETH, or are they just speculating on ETH? You know, like to me, people were buying Bitcoin because they were into the whole like narrative of decentralized money, right? After the regional banking crisis, especially after seeing like USDC kind of nearly implode there for a little bit. That's what I'm trying to think. Like, yes, we know there are ETH maxis who think ETH is like the best thing imaginable. I get that part of it, and I get the rotation trade. But what fueled ETH in the past was ICOs, was DeFi, was NFTs, right? There was always a reason to buy it and use it on chain.
There still is. There's tons of on-chain drivers.
Well, if we're talking about rates at 4.5 and staking at
I'm
5.
not. Well, no, you look in the whole world and it's hard to find like what should I do that's better than risk-free at like high levels. That's a challenge all over the world, but there's still deals that get done, reasons to do it, and kind of best of the bunch. Now, if you tell me, should I own the like coin market cap number 1000 coin that's an ETH clone, that no. But if I want exposure to crypto, then ETH and BTC make a lot of sense to me. And there's still money in the world. It's not like we're seeing so much contraction that there's nothing in the crypto economy.
Well, that's another exciting part about this whole like eventual pivot is there's $5 trillion sitting in money markets in the US. Like, to me, that's the biggest representation of dry powder anywhere. That's not going to come out all at once, but it's like you're saying with cost of capital coming up and down, like eventually it's going to rotate into, some of it is going to rotate into crypto. But my question is just right now, like, why ETH right now?
Why not?
I'm not saying I don't like it as like a part of your portfolio. I'm just trying to think like who's thinking like, yes, let me get some ETH for XYZ reason other than just like a buy and hold, which is enough. That's definitely enough.
I think that's enough. Wasn't Coinbase leading, by the way, in terms of flows? Like spot was
coin?
Just flow. I don't know, but like I think spot was leading futures and perps and stuff, which is always good. Like we're not seeing massive margin out there or anything like that.
No.
As much as I recall,
we are seeing.
No, that's good. We have the same crypto thesis we've had forever. It's just the number is not going down anymore, and everything looks okay. What do you like? Why do we have?
I'm not fighting it. I'm just trying to think like why ETH right now? That's all. Like technicals look great.
I think a lot of people expected ETH to go down as unlocks started to occur.
Which, hey, there's still still 2 billion USD notional. Not that that's all going to get sold because it's not, but okay, go ahead.
Early evidence suggests that the demand for this, like, oh my gosh, get all my coins out of that thing that I staked in, like,
right? That was never going to happen anyway.
It's not really happening. Plus, those people that put 32 ETH in are crazy. Like they're purposefully were like, no, I don't need that liquidity. Just throw it in there, secure the network. I don't have any access to it until Vitalik allows it. that's I didn't do that. Did you?
I did stake some ETH, but not till like the end of last year or something.
Yeah. No. See, I did not, but all that ETH came from people who are believers, and why are they just going to go sell it all? Nevertheless, I'm bullish on the tokens, Josh. I hate to say it. I'm not bullish for 100x's, but I'm bullish for the lows continue to appear to be in, and the bears are in trouble.
Yeah, the charts look good. I mean, that what you have on the screen for the past 5 minutes is a massive Adam and Eve. Like that easily measures the 2,500. Like again, I'm not arguing with that at all. That looks amazing. Whatever cross that is on the MAs, is that the 2,200? What is that?
2,200 weekly, which is basically it was telling you buy back as soon as it happened. This is similar to Tinkin Keesian recross. So you would have bought around 1,600. Yeah, it's just a fast moving average over a slow one. But
yeah, it looks great. I guess the only thing would be like regulatory stuff in the US that might be coming. But
Oh, for sure. That's a good reason not to own anyone.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I like the coins. I agree. Even alts are looking better here as BTC slows down a little bit. As dominance slows down a little bit.
Somebody asked us to look at ARB. Such a funny name. ARB. People like the Arbitrum.
So what does the token do, right? Like, I don't even know what that token does. Does it help with fees?
Gosh.
Not that it matters. I get it. I understand. I've been here for a long time, but like, I just want to know, what does it do?
Governance. Didn't you see how successful Arbitrum governance was recently?
Quotes governance, right? That worked really well. Yeah. Like, you just, measured that out depth wise from like the previous high to the low with some fibs, and yeah, there you go. There's your target. There's your
body
sign.
to body. 171 or $2. I'll take $2, Bob.
Sure, but like, am I going to personally buy it here? No. Like, make your money, take your trade.
No, I'm not buying this either. But we like bullish charts. Bullish charts are good. We trade bullish charts. Wait for bullish charts and then trade them. Manage your risk and make some money. Have fun.
Solana.
Here's my, definitely not financial advice, but my plan for myself is find things that look bullish, find their liquidity profiles, make sure you can buy them and sell them and have access to trade them and all that good stuff. Don't use high leverage and take it easy. Don't over diversify. Make yourself flexible. Take care of your taxes and have a good day.
Boom. Yeah, Matic looks good. DOT looks good. Solana looks good. Even though Solana's got fundamental issues, Matic just looks like a massive Adam and Eve as well on higher time frames. All the charts kind of look the same from that regard. So if you're comfortable trading a pattern a certain way, what else is there to do? Look at that Adam and Eve on Solana too.
My little Solana
sort of
worked pretty well. It did, but it was, I don't remember where.
He's moving the squiggle, folks.
It went to the place I was talking about. It went to the place where I was talking about is the point, but it's, I don't know. I like things when they have a lot of conversation happening and then they have a lot of upside. I think you got to kind of wait on this entry, but this is really interesting from a breakout potential perspective. And then they've got their narratives only possible on Solana, the Solana phone stuff. I would like to see Solana retake the Sam is a fraud failure and go back to the old bear market range. So like the fact that you can go back to the old bear market range and double, I like that about Solana. And I like they're working hard and all that stuff. That doesn't mean anything specifically, but it's got all the basics of what I need for a trade. And this weekly chart looks okay to me. This is the 200-day, by the way, 2200. So like if I could get, here's a good example. If I could get Solana, if we have some big retrace one day, it goes to 22. Josh, if you could send me a reminder to just buy Solana at 22 and sell it at $50.
Will do. Yeah, I mean, there's no chart right now. I don't think that you can like realistically go in like the top 10 and find anything that's bearish. I just
wouldn't go buy like some crap that seems to just always lag, never works, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I can't like ARB. I can't pretend to care about that coin because it's been here for like a day. The team's trying to sell all of it. Like, I don't care. Like, what do you want me to say? The chart looks good? Sure. It's just it's not for me. Avax, people talking about Avax too, like, yeah, that looks fine. Like all these like layer 1 coins in the top 10, top 15, top 20, they all look pretty good. They've all been beaten down for a long time.
Yeah. I think I don't know the best time to play these, but just watch your altcoin versus ETH, altcoin versus Bitcoin. Like you might be, winning but losing on the relative pair. Something to keep in mind. I don't think it's a clear and obvious sector play or anything like that right now. That does look good. Curve, whoever said that.
Yeah, I feel like every chart either has some variation of inverted head and shoulders or Adam and Eve. And that's a good sign.
Yeah.
That means there's potential for higher highs. Yikes.
0x nameless told us Avax ETH looks a little sus, and I would agree that is more than a little sus. That is Brian Kreisgard will not be buying Avax. Not with Ethereum. That's
that
sure.
looks that looks rough. That's like the Zcash people saying like, "Oh man, what a great buying opportunity!" This, with charts like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always think of Zcash, and I always will whenever I'm bearish on anything. So, you can't buy that. I'm sorry, you just can't.
I love
like
Aave.
anything about to push an all-time low. No, I'm. Maybe you can be the hero, but I'm not. I'm not a hero. Sorry.
Here's what you could buy. Okay. So let's do a squig. Oopsie doopsie. ETH went to 3K. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Try to buy that capitulation somewhere down there. ETH goes like super turbo, and then those start to recover. But you're buying all-time low price exploration attempts. That's tough. I wouldn't buy it here.
Yeah, that's.
How many times have we drawn this kind of reclaim?
Talking about regulations trade? Again, I mean, talking about anything that's ripe for regulation is the DeFi ecosystem in the United States.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful with that stuff for sure.
And have you seen the stuff where people are saying they just have no case against Ethereum itself?
Going to what? What do you mean, no case?
That there's not a good case against Ethereum itself. There's better cases against DeFi stuff, but Ethereum itself is probably pretty safe, even though Gary Gensler wants to take it down.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how proof of stake just plays out generally in the courts,
Yeah.
I think the Ethereum Foundation should have paid, penalties years ago on selling unregistered security. I don't think that's like, look at the videos of them peddling it, right? Like, it seems pretty clear. But whatever.
Well, I feel safest with my money personally in ETH and BTC still for the vast majority. I think you can go and look around and find high beta, but you look at something like that Avax ETH chart or something like that, and it's like, that's not high beta, that's low beta. So you just got to find your spots. If you over diversify, you're going to be like really highly subjected to all those things.
Well, you can always even like do some sort of equal weighted weekly rebalance.
Yeah, I think I just want to like not go crazy on anything, not overdo it, not overtrade it. I'd like some long-term capital gains. That's what I'd like, Josh.
Yeah, but if you're trading out of it, like if you're trying to maximize coin and you're like taking your ETH profits and rolling them into some altcoin, right?
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
I think
I agree.
It's could
tricky.
Do very well. I also think like, on a relative basis, like we're talking, you could just get completely hosed.
Can I show you one of the greatest things I've ever seen? I think we talked about that. When Kyle told Ryan Adams, let's bet on Sol ETH price end of year 2022 versus 2021.
That's my problem with VCs in general. Like they have to talk their book because that's their investments. Like I get it, right? But I don't know. Seeing stuff like that repeatedly over the years is just yeah.
I mean, come on. A man was murdered on this chart. It's over.
I mean, they also lost a bunch on FTX, so.
I know. I'm not trying to like. Yeah, I'm just saying. Where I don't want to buy in 2022, that's for sure. But look at that 2023 bottom, baby. If this can reclaim 0.0125, that would be cool. I'm not trying to like overshill Sol or anything. I just these are kind of things you got to watch when you're looking at your beta trades.
Yeah, for me, what's most important is, like you said, like who's using it, why are they using it, are people like onboarding, or are they just trading it? Like, because that's gonna have the sustain, like ETH has, right? Where there's on-chain activity regardless, bull market, bear market. It's agnostic to that. That's what you need long term,
right?
Which I don't know if Solana realistically has that.
You gonna get a Sol fund?
I keep seeing people talk about it, but no, I'm not. Are you gonna get one?
Totally messaged me.
Just beta test over there.
Well, they're gonna send me one to test, and I was like, sure, I'll test it. And so I'm gonna test it out. I kind of want to see, like, I want to be bullish on crypto native products. So if I can get a device and it works awesome and it's really Web3 and it's not like just the Solana Android phone, you know what I mean? Like, I could get excited. So I think he's gonna send me one to test, and we'll see.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's really it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So Dangles asked a question. I think this might be a good place to end because we didn't really talk. We didn't have any definitiveness here, and it's worth recalling.
Yes, the Link Uni pair. Let's look at this stuff.
This is what everybody was waiting on. Like, honestly, I think these kind of pair trades, like you say, oh, I don't know which alt's going to outperform ETH or whatever, but I wish if you could just say, like, okay, I want my ETH or BTC as collateral, and then I want to long this random pair trade or short this random pair trade. Those are cool trades. That's where, like, crypto native, you kind of know, you say, like, all right, well, I don't think Aptos is going to, go above $15 again or something like that, but I'm going to make some pair trade on Aptos and keep my crypto collateral. I like that kind of trade.
Yeah, I mean, this chart looks bullish for Link. Link itself on the USD pair is just like ranging sideways, though.
It's an Omega range, man. It's crazy.
So I don't know. And like everybody's high on like Uni's volume last month, right? There was all these people talking about it. You look at the coin, you'd have no idea. Not that you would, because those rewards or that revenue isn't exactly like trickling down or anything. But
I have $8 Link on my chart. I think that's fine. 8 to 12 would be a nice trade. But I'm always going to want to know, like, what's that mean versus what I got to do to get there.
There's a huge opportunity cost, like sitting in that waiting for it to break out versus playing something that's already broken out. Yeah, like, come on. No. That looks like the DXY chart. Like, I'm not loading up on Link relative to ETH here. It's just not on
I think
the trend is not on your side. Sorry.
Yeah, I think you got to find your fundamental narratives that match up to change the trajectory of this.
Yeah.
So we'd probably help no one out here in their own thinking.
Hey, we're not here for that. We're here for us. We're here for the celebration of life on Brian Krog's garden.
That's right. And we're glad that y'all joined us. I'm glad that the number is not down horrendously.
Happy for ETH that it was successful. I'm happy that it didn't dump like the proof of work to proof of stake fork dumped.
Doomers were wrong.
Look, we got 30 to 60 days realistically. Lito's big unlocks haven't even happened yet, so we got time. We got plenty of time.
I like positivity, so I will continue thinking positively. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Yeah, Link BTC also looks like garbage, by the way.
Not good. That's what the Linkmans want to hear right from the music.
Whatever. We lost them.
Bye. See y'all.
In the blink of an eye. It's just run dry. In a house of cards, I feel the breeze wound so tight I can barely breathe. Oh, the chains, oh, the chains, Lord, the chains, come release me from